What is up, my Eggy peeps? It's time for another review on Urfi, Eggy Reviews for You. You can see where I am. We're getting ready for the Brooklyn Bowl tonight in Las Vegas after the Fish show. But I'm here to talk about Flagstaff. So let's get into it. One long set, no set break, nice little encore. Opening band was all right. Definitely pretty cool. A lot of people liked them. Seemed like there was a lot of people there for the opening band. But let's get into it. So they opened up with Between You and Me. Lots of physical activity from the band at that point, right in the very beginning. Mike was moving around a lot. Jake was moving around a lot. Donnie was very animated with his hands. And right away, I was thinking that it was really Donnie's night. I mean, right in the first song, it seemed obvious to me that there was a strong emphasis on Donnie. He was feeling it, and he really wanted to get his sound out there into the room. There was also an early emphasis I felt on Mike. Jake was kind of quiet in that first song, if there is such a thing for Jake. And then they went into One More Dance. Again, this was emphasizing to me that it was Donnie's night. He sounded like a saloon pianist in like the greatest, Western town, saloon type sound that you've ever heard, right? And Jake found his mojo in that second song. Really kind of came into the room a little bit more than he was in the first song, and they went off into some new territory in that jam. Third song was Last of Kin. Always a great jammer. That song has some awesome rhythms and sections to it that really lend themselves to some downright boogieing. And Mike was the heartbeat of that song. He came out of the box right away, and to me it sounded like Jake was just like maybe an octave lower or something, he was doing something just a little bit lower in tone than he normally was. It seemed like to match Mike's sound. The house system was a little compressed, the sound. Still good, plenty of room for the sound to spread, but the house system itself wasn't as good as some of the other ones that we've been on this run. The next was Come Up Slow. And so, on Last of Kin, Jake had that awesome kind of smoky Jake voice again, which was really great. And like I was saying, Come Up Slow. So Mike was animated on Come Up Slow. He had some nice big, slides on that bass. And Donnie, mighty Donnie, man, he just came through on those keyboards like, I don't know, it was like a storm of ivories just cranking over there. Reminded me a lot of some of the best 70s Jackson Browne type stuff that I used to hear growing up. Late for the Sky, Saturate Before Using, Donnie, mighty Donnie, yeah. And then All That You Dream. Mike needs to sing more. Love him singing. He just gets into it so much. It's fun to watch him concentrate on absolutely nailing that bass to the floor while he's actually singing. You can kind of see the gears turning sometimes up there, and it's just a hell of a thing to watch and really enjoy when he's just on that game. So again though, Donnie was heavy on that Little Feat song, and Way of the Stone, Letter to Myself. Again, Donnie, the best of the best keyboards you'd ever want to hear in any song, basically. I mean, it was like if you are birds of a feather like me, like you grew up on Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Yes, and just some of the greatest mind-blowing keyboards you've ever heard. And we got it last night in Flagstaff. He had that cyberpunk sound too, but in that jam, The Way of the Stone and Letter to Myself, we got a new slow hand on this earth, okay? I said it the other night. I made a comparison to Clapton, and I still feel like I need to qualify that and say that these aren't comparisons so much as that the person that I'm talking about wanted to be like the other guy, just that their talent and ability to delight is as legendary as those people were. a new slow hand on earth we have right before us with Jake Brownstein. There's no need to compare. Other people, Eggy is pointing the way. Okay, they're like the Northstar. They're pointing the way for all other jam bands to follow. They're it. They're the leaders of the pack, and there's nobody like them doing what they're doing. And Jake was just, like I said, there's a new slow hand on earth. And I see this little funny thing on the camera. I don't know if my hair on my lip is reflecting funny or what, but I'm doing this in one take, so it doesn't matter. In that song, Jake was contorted. There was body language messages on stage last night that conveyed themselves through the speakers, you know. Jake was a little bit bent over and contorted for part of that song, and it just came through in such an emotional way. Like I said, greatest guitarist to ever walk. And Alex was like invisible for parts of that song based on the lighting. You could see the sticks and you could hear his voice, but you couldn't see him, and that was kind of ethereal and kind of cool. Donnie stood up at one point during that song also, which was really cool, and they kind of wound it down and took a second, made a couple of adjustments, and broke into what is now obviously a crowd favorite, Sweat Equity. The place went wild. Everybody knew the song, and it's interesting to me that so many people knew that song where it's not, you know, it's not an older song. It's real new, and it was very, very encouraging and energizing to me as a fan to see so many other people loving that song. At one point, there was actually a Congo line that broke out, and I thought this was beautiful. This was ingenious. It was the coolest thing. We're all standing there. I'm like, 3 or 4 people deep in the stage, from the stage. Big stage, by the way. Big break between the stage. One of those, like, they had one of those cattle fences in front of the stage, and then like 6 or 8 feet then the stage. But I'm standing there with Shane and a couple other guys, and all of a sudden, 3 or 4 people come by, and I realize, oh wait, it's a Congo line. There to be, I bet you there was 40 people in this Congo line, just kind of caterpillaring their way through the crowd while the band was just going da-dink, da-doink, da-dink, da-doink with their Sweat Equity jam. And it was just the coolest thing to see the crowd getting into it. I don't know if that's a local thing or what, but I do want to keep this quick. I know 15 minutes was probably too long of a review the other day but that was a monster show. Either way, this Sweat Equity was a nice long jam. It's exactly what I was hoping for. And to that point, man, these guys just keep serving up. There is no way that anybody's not satisfied. And there were people last night that were absolutely over the moon. I got stories to tell. I'll tell you in person about the people that I met last night that were so happy. It was their first show, and yeah, they were just blissfully happy that they were at their first Eggy show, and they got songs that they knew and that they liked, and these guys just continue to deliver. It's awesome. But in that Sweat Equity, not only do we have now a slow hand, but we have a new Santana, and I don't want to compare. I really don't. We have a Jake Brownstein. That's what we have, but it was Donnie in the backups last night. Except Jake made a couple of appearances, and man, it was one set. It was one long set. I'm running out of words. I want to wrap it up. That Congo line was really cool, and the Santana comparisons are legit. So, encore, Ricky Gervais and Zug Zwang. So Ricky is obviously this really cool platform for fun, and they had fun with it. But Zug Zwang is this unbelievable Brownstein Amarante. The lyrics in that song, I'm not going to say them here. I'll never do them justice, but go check it out on the Eggy music page. Their lyrics are all there, alphabetically listed, so obviously you'll have to go to the second page to find Zug Zwang. But Donnie had like breaking glass keys, and I thought a mosh pit was going to break out at one point during Zug Zwang, and then Jake had just the most beautiful, distressed ending to that song to wrap it up. It was soulful and very emotional, just manifesting itself right there on the stage for the ending of that song. It was really cool, and I'm sorry I keep clearing my throat on these videos. I will try to work on that, but it's one take and that's it. So with that said, we're at 10 minutes, wrapping it up. I hope to see all you guys down there tonight. My wife and I, Sissy, will be down there, 7, 8 o'clock, kind of milling around, going to hit Fremont Street, and we'll see you all at the show. And I can't wait to do a review of the Las Vegas Brooklyn Bowl. Love you all. Peace out.